Hi guys, so first of all, I want to say thank you to those of you who came to live class yesterday, really good turnout. I want to shout out specifically Kwabina and Fatu. You guys did a fantastic job sharing your perspective, sharing your perspectives of the person who you were assigned to be the profile for yesterday. I really loved seeing all of you guys learn from each other, share your ideas with each other, work in those small groups just like we would do in real live class. So if you are currently in real live class, make sure that you chatted out your response to the third question of the RTL in the chat so that you can get those participation points. If you're someone who's watching the pre-recorded video, at this point, if you have not yet completed your RTL, pause the video, go back, complete the RTL, because the RTL sets up the learning target for today. After we go over the learning target today, we're going to go to a video, then we'll go into documents. If you're in live class, we are jigsawing. If you are working independently, obviously you're doing it on your own. Today's documents that we're going to look at will be used for an essay that we will begin tomorrow. I don't want you to worry about the essay until tomorrow, but that's why there are so many documents in today's lesson, because you might be using more of the documents when you begin your essay tomorrow. For now though, don't worry about the essay. We'll get there tomorrow. Today, let's worry about our learning target. So I will be able to explain how successful progressive era reformers work in achieving their goals: protecting consumers, regulating child labor, improving working conditions, and expanding democracy. So let's break down some of this difficult vocabulary. First, I see this term progressive era, which at this point we should be familiar with. We know that word era, because it's got that capital E, just means time period. Means time period. We know that the progressive era happens after industrialization. Industrialization leads to progressive. So we know the progressive era happens after industrialization. During the progressive era, we know that progress is made. You see that word progress within progressive. Progress means change. So the progressive era is what it sounds like. It's a time period of lots of change. Progressive era comes after industrialization. During industrialization, as we've been discussing in the last few lessons and throughout our unit, we know that during industrialization, a lot of problems get created. You probably listed some of those problems under the RTL question about negative effects of industrialization. Those problems need to be fixed. They get fixed during that time period called the progressive era, when lots of changes start to happen to fix the problems of industrialization. We've been studying the progressive era, getting an introduction to it over the past couple of days. Today, we need to figure out how successful progressive era reformers were in achieving their goals. So let's look at this word reformers. Within reformers, you probably see the word reform. Reform, to reform something, means change. A reformer is a person, it's the person who seeks or who tries to change things. The person who tries to change things, the person who stands for change. So we need to figure out today, how successful were the reformers, the people who tried to change things during the progressive era? How successful were they at achieving their goals? Progressive era reformers had 4 basic goals. Number 1, protecting consumers. Consumers just means buyers. People who buy things. People who buy things. Some of you might have listed as a negative effect of industrialization, the quality of meat, the quality of food. If we were going to protect consumers, buyers of meat, people who buy meat, if we were going to protect consumers, people who buy things from buying nasty meat, some of those meat packing industries, some of those meat packing factories would probably have to get fixed in some way. So their first goal, protecting consumers. Consumers we know as people who buy things. Their second goal, regulating child labor. We know what child labor is. To regulate child labor means you can think of it as stopping child labor. Goal number 3, improving working conditions. That one's probably pretty obvious to us. We know that in factories, working conditions were not always the best. Oftentimes factories were dangerous, workers received low pay. And their last goal, and we learned a bit about this yesterday, would be expanding, increasing democracy. Expanding or increasing democracy. Key to working a healthy democracy, we know, is the right to vote. We know yesterday that more people, and the number of people who could vote increased during Progressive Era, because if you remember from yesterday, that 19th Amendment gets passed. That law that says that grants women the right to vote. So now we've, in our learning target, because this is a big learning target, it basically is a review of everything we've been learning over the past 2 weeks. Our learning target breaks down the 4 basic goals of Progressive Era reformers, of people who wanted change during the Progressive Era. From that third question in the RTL, you might have said that regular people, they joined labor unions. They joined unions to make a change. You might have remembered that journalists such as muckrakers took pictures or wrote articles to show people about the problems that related to industrialization. Think about Jacob Riis or Upton Sinclair. You might have also said for question number 3 that the government had to make laws to get rid of child labor or to improve conditions in the factories. We know that there are definitely different steps that people are going to have to take in order to solve the problems of industrialization. In today's lesson, we're going to look at some of the steps that were taken during the Progressive Era to solve the problems of industrialization. And we'll judge for ourselves, well, how successful were people who were trying to make a change during the Progressive Era? Did they really get what they want? Were they able to protect consumers? Were they able to regulate, meaning stop child labor? Were they able to improve working conditions? Were they able to expand democracy? You'll find out today through your document study. So what you're doing today is primary source menus. So you'll notice that each menu focuses on one of the goals of Progressive Era reformers that we just stated in the learning target. So menu number 1 focuses on the goal of protecting consumers. Menu number 2 focuses on regulating child labor. Menu number 3 is improving working conditions. Menu number 4 focuses on the idea of expanding, increasing democracy. Your job is to follow the directions at the top. Directions, they're highlighted for you. I'm going to read them out loud. You must complete a total of 4 documents/questions from the following 4 primary source menus. Documents highlighted in blue are required. You will be using these exact same documents to write your DBQ essay. Now again, don't worry about the DBQ essay yet. We'll think about that tomorrow. Today, you do need to complete the documents in blue. You'll notice with a primary source menu, there are guiding questions that go underneath each document. Your job today is to complete 4 documents total. So you must do the ones that are highlighted in blue. The fourth document is a freebie you may pick. These are the same documents that you will be using in your essay tomorrow. So you will not need to read different documents when we begin the essay tomorrow. Again, we'll go over the requirements for the essay tomorrow. Don't worry about that. For today, just worry about today's daily packet. Thanks, guys. Please remember to come to live class.